The emotional signature of gratitude is that something wonderful just happened to you,
Yes.
or something wonderful is happening to you in the moment. So gratitude in its sense emotionally is the ultimate state of receiving.
Gratitude.
The emotional signature is receiving. So all you got to do is get that heart of yours open and fall in love with your future. And how would you feel if it happened? You would feel in love with life. You would feel empowered. You would feel unlimited. You would feel more whole. Practice feeling those emotions. And that's it. And we discovered that when people do this really well, in 7 days, their biology completely changes. Everything changes. Their brain works better, their heart works better. For days after the event, the default mode in the brain that causes us to switch back to the old personality shuts off. So our data shows your microbiome changes in 7 days without changing your diet or your gluten or your vegan or your probiotic. Changed without all of that. Changed without all of that in 7 days. Person's making chemicals that suppress cancer growth. They're making chemicals that cause viruses, dangerous ones, that they're impossible to enter the cell. That's what our data shows. Makes endogenous opioids, pain relieving chemicals, 100% of the population. Makes chemicals that cause neurogenesis in neurons in the brain, causes breast milk to be better and heals wounds and scars. The biology of the person is changing. The biology of the person looks like they're living in a whole new life. And that's when they return back into their life in the same environment, in the same circumstances, thinking differently, acting differently, feeling differently, independent of their outer world. And the experiment is, my life should change. Why else would I do it? Why else would I do it?
Why is it so hard for us to say, my life's like 70% pretty good, but it's not like exactly what I want? Why is it so hard to make a change then rather than when there's a trauma, a breakdown, a breakup, a near life or death incident? Why is it so hard to change when things are pretty good? I'm doing pretty good. I've got a good job. I've got a good, marriage is pretty good.
Yeah,
My health is, I'm only 40 pounds overweight. It's okay. Like, why is it hard to say, let's move into something different? Why is it that much harder when things are good to change?
because it takes crisis for most people to change. It's got to be so uncomfortable that nothing's making that feeling go away. That's what most people wait for. And yet, you don't have to wait for that. You actually could say, I want to be defined by a vision of the future every day. That's what I want. But for most people, it takes that crisis or that something where all of a sudden they can see themselves for the first time. Nothing's making that feeling go away, and they don't feel like themselves. And they can see how they thought. They can notice how they were acting. They can feel how they've spent their whole life feeling, and they objectify their subjective self. They become conscious of their unconscious self. So for most people, then it takes that
Yeah.
person or that circumstance or that condition to finally make up their mind to change.
For
And
me,
and and the last part about that is for the person who's not changing, they're not choosing. They're just comfortable in the known. They're just comfortable being in the known. And the unknown is when you're at your best because there's uncertainty, there's unpredictability, there's chaos. That's the energy that you have to organize to create with. And if you react and you respond and you do all of that, you're caught up in the chaos and you're thinking, acting, feeling equal to the environment. Your personal reality is creating your personality now. Your environment is controlling the way you think and feel. And as a program, we got to be able to turn that around.
the thing that's helped me, maybe you have a better explanation for what could help trigger the energy and momentum for change when life is good. The thing that's worked for me really well is really having a vision of a future that I don't have yet, that I dream and desire in a big way, that is a fulfilling vision of the future for me. That's because life is usually pretty good for me, unless it's not. And then it's either tragedy, then it's like, okay, I need to completely go to therapy every single day and start transforming and do whatever it takes to finally heal. Or it's like, God, there's something like in my heart that I haven't lived yet in terms of a vision that's greater for myself, that I feel like I'm supposed to be living, that's somewhere that I want to draw in.